Oh, the wind blows cold on the
Trail.
Oh, the wind blows cold in the land of the dawn.
All right, people, let me turn this down. Let's get to the show. All right, opening up with a little bit of Old and in the Way. I don't know. Is that me? I guess so. If the shoe fits. Ah, Well, people, it is March 2023. That was the band Old and in the Way, a bluegrass band 50 years ago, with a bunch of youngsters called themselves Old and in the Way. A few of them are still alive, David Grisman and Peter Rowan, and Jerry's passed on. Anyways, challenging time. I feel particularly, I don't know, I think we're all kind of being squeezed emotionally, spiritually, maybe physically. Um, I don't know what's going on my poor planet. It's hard to hard to figure, really, to some degree. Um, been reading so much. I've got so much notes scattered around. Again, I'm broadcasting from not from the podcast booth in San Rafael, but from here in my little studio in town of San Anselmo. I guess my last show was called Enter Hamlet, so let's wrap Hamlet up. That was a more than a week ago, and here's a little Hamlet monologue. Oh my. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I so relate to Hamlet. Maybe it's just self-evident. Hamlet is just talking into the camera now. He's talking to you and I. And he says, "How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. How all occasions do inform against me." Everything is challenging him in his spirit, I guess, and the reality of maybe I'm being an ignorant person. No, stop. Oh, God. All right. Forget I said anything negative. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? Hamlet's having a rough time looking himself in the mirror. It's a story of more than one human being on this planet. A beast no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, in the future and in the past, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to. Let's try that again. Sure, he made us with this ability to look into the future and into the past, and this godlike reason, boom, not to mold in us unused. Shakespeare uses the word fussed in us. I've not well, to mold in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion, are we but an animal, or some craven scruple of thinking so precisely on the subject, on the event, he says, a thought which quartered hath but one part wisdom. You think of something, you realize it, you know it, and then you keep analyzing it, you keep thinking it, you quarter it, you have it, and where was that wisdom? He says, a thought which quartered hath but one part wisdom, and ever three parts coward. I do not know why yet I live to say the things to do. I have cause and will and strength and means to do it, since I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. This thing's to do, I say. I have cause and will and strength to do it. Still. Examples of the earth exhort me. Tell me, this is witness this army of so large, so massive, and yet who, this delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure. I'm skipping through this, people. I'm giving it my best. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. I can't explain all of this, people. To find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. Maybe there's more than the quarrel in the straw, maybe, but honor is at stake. How stand I then that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood? Let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, whereon the numbers cannot try the cause. Go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough in continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody. Excuse me, humans. My thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth. He exits. Jesus Louise, holy cow. Yeah, that's the way the world is. Here I am getting to be an old man, and God. Dereliction of duty. Is that about me? Only talking about Lyndon Johnson and Robert McNamara here. I was looking for evidence, trying to get into the issues of JFK while he is still accused of being a war criminal by Noam Chomsky and kind of sneered at by Gore Vidal. And I don't know. God. No, I know it. I think he signed that last edict in was it executive order to bring the advisors, 16,000 advisors in Vietnam when he passed away. He had raised it from upward from 800. He pushed it. He got us in deeper. But at the end, and he was learning that it was no good. And he was slain. And I think of him as sort of the father, and maybe Martin Luther King as another father, American fathers who've died and not been avenged, who did that? Oh, they're gonna, in the paper, here, this is a fantastic, every day, hearing on COVID's origins promise politics and substance. What is it supposed to be, a bipartisan hearing? Who knows? But here they're going to substance. Meanwhile, pipeline inquiry points to a pro-Ukraine group. U.S. officials say. The U.S. officials. I don't know. There's just been so much deceit in our militarized nation. From the 80s, the Iran-Contra, the flooding of America with cocaine, crack, as it were, the epidemic that was brought to you by the hand of our security state as they meddled in Guatemala. I don't think it's any secret, but yet it's buried. The 80s, the 90s, Clinton achieving power by being the centrist Democrat who gives his rubber stamp approving globalization, destruction of manufacturing jobs in America, rubber stamp approving the continual manipulation of the security state. Oh boy, that goes back to Roosevelt. But let me just get into, I had to underline a couple of stuff. And I know I didn't want to take us down a dark path. Or on a dark path. But enjoying Creedence Clearwater. Have you seen the rain pouring down a sunny day? Something like that. God. I wish I was a stronger Hamlet. European officials have publicly said they believe the operation that targeted Nordstream was probably state-sponsored. European officials said that. Possibly because of the sophistication with which the perpetrators planted and detonated the explosives on the floor of the Baltic without being detected. They apparently used, where did I see it? 1,000 pounds of explosives were brought to the sea floor to blow this thing up. In the meantime, the explosives were most likely planted with the help of experienced divers who did not appear to be working for military or intelligence services, U.S. officials who have reviewed the new intelligence said. No, our U.S. officials who have reviewed the new intelligence said it did not appear they were working for any military intelligence services. What kind of evidence they're looking at? But it is possible that the perpetrators received specialized government training in the past. Our U.S. officials have revealed. U.S. spy agencies. And then we have our president. Earlier last year, President Biden, after meeting with Chancellor Olaf Scholz of Germany at the White House, said Mr. Putin's decision about whether to attack Ukraine would determine the fate of Nord Stream 2. Quote, Biden, I want to call him a name here. Biden, if Russia invades, that means tanks and troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. All right, this is prior to the invasion, as Putin is bringing all these troops down there, and we're all looking at this and going, holy cow, what is this going on? Biden talked tough. If Russia invades, that means tanks and troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2, Mr. Biden said. We will bring an end to it. When asked, it was a press conference, when asked exactly how that would be accomplished, Mr. Biden cryptically said in his Mr. Tough Guy, I know better than everybody else. I promise you we'll be able to do it, said Joe Biden about bringing Nord Stream 2 to an end. And you got this giant explosion. Intelligent officials. Oh, poor planet. In the meantime, I don't know. You know, I know. I'm just finding a wonderful book. This book explains it all in some beautiful way. Look at that handsome art piece. This is a book written in 1930. You find these things every once in a while, and it touches the roots of American history in a powerful way. and I bought it because it has to do with Maine history, and you know, I'm intimately connected with Maine history, having lived there once upon a time. You know that's history, and it's a fabulous, fabulous read. Uh, Arundel, by a guy named Kenneth Roberts, an old white guy. Can you see Kenneth Roberts? I mean, how how out of it, how conservative. How could this guy like this channel anything so beautiful and brilliant? He really gets into the mind of the Native Americans. The American Revolution is experienced and explained and brought out in a way that it's to me is just beautiful. I mean, there's language in here that you would think um, it might be just some angry progressive who doesn't like America talking, and then there's language in here that just completely upends that, and you start liking these fools and idiots and these, you know, and what, oh my God, what was the revolution? But I love it about the Abenakis and his love for um, the whole culture of that Algonquin Confederacy. I'll just find something to read here and then call it a day. I'm going on too much, as I always do, but maybe it's not enough. Okay, come on, guy, don't hold off. Just do this. Oh, that's so weak. Come on, guy. Oh my. Well, that's another fine. How do you do, hero? The Abenaki Nation is a confederation of tribes living in the river valleys of our beautiful province of Maine, moving up the rivers in the autumn to hunt and gather furs, and down the rivers in the spring to fish and be cool. Between times, they plant and harvest their crops on fertile spots along the rivers. The Micmacs of Acadia belong to the Abenaki Confederation as well. They are a coarser breed than our true Abenakis because of mixing their blood with slant-eyed, round-faced Indians from the coal countries. See, that maybe that would be like, you know, early white man prejudice. But the same is true to a lesser degree of Abenakis living in the eastward of our province, the Penobscots and the Passamaquoddies. They too are inclined to be ruder and rougher than the rest of the Abenakis, as a man from the deep woods is ruder than one from the settlements. However that may be, there is a relationship between all Abenakis. The land of our province belongs to all of them in common, so that a Passamaquoddy may hunt in the valley of the Kennebec if it pleases him, and a Kennebec may hunt on the Penobscot if so inclined. There's a similarity in their speech, and I don't know. I, the whole issue with the Native Americans and European civilization seems to me hasn't been dealt with yet. And that's where we're going through these rapids up ahead. And, you know, I don't know. Is our civilization going to make it? Um, John Fogerty, um, hold on. I'm going to get it. Wait a minute. Don't go anywhere, please. This is it. John Fogerty was channeling a lot of different things in his incredible, prolific musical career, and really one of the many voices, prophetic voices. I'm going to read this because it sounded fresh to me when me and a buddy were trying to make some music today. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it will rain a sunny day. I know, forgive me, I won't say anymore. I know, shining down like water. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? And he repeats, Yes, and then the next verse. Yesterday and days before, the sun is cold, the rain is hot. I know, didn't I pay for all my time? And forever on it goes, through the circle, fast and slow. I know, it can't stop, I wonder. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? I don't know why I'm bringing this up. To me, I was thinking that the rain's going to bring a sunny day. And the rain can't be stopped, as Dylan pointed out, and other great prophets. Mary Carey, my friend Mary, pointed that out. Who'll stop the rain? Um, and we will survive. But and the children will have to, and it's an act of faith, and God knows how, and it doesn't really make any sense, and maybe not, but like I don't know, but just gotta find that high place to make it through the white waters and keep our bounce going and spirit and see what starts coming together in the rough times. And it's a challenge. All right, I've babbled enough. Babbled enough. Trying to make things right with my own life in the world while I still can. So thank you all. Every day is beautiful, as you well know it. Get out there and enjoy it. All right, thank you. Bye bye.